While a big boost to Zee, the National Company Law Tribunal has cleared the merger, dismissing all objections to it. Let's find out exactly what happened. And for that, my colleague Ankur has filed this report.
Yes, one word order from court this time that the merger is approved. And another thing which was mentioned that all the objections which were raised against the merger has been dismissed. So all in all, it is complete approval on the merger. There were several objections, if you would recall, that in the likes of Axis Finance, JC Flowers and other creditors had raised the objections in the court saying that their dues are not paid and hence the merger should not be approved. There were also questions about the design of the deal, why the payment is being made in Mauritius, and that was done allegedly to avoid those payments. But the contention of the company was that this is a group company whose payments were remaining, and hence you cannot be even liable for payment because you are not even creditors. So these were the contentions which was given by the counsel earlier in the court, and hence at least this oral order is concerned, all these contentions have been accepted. And finally, this merger is a done deal as of now. However, the legal tangle still remains because you would recall that SEBI final order against the promoters of Zee Entertainment is still remaining. That is still to be heard. In fact, Puneet Goenka and Subhash Goenka is supposed to appear before SEBI, and after that the final order will come, and a separate case in that matter is continuing in Securities Appellate Tribunal. And another point to note here is that whether or not all these entities who were opposing the deal, they move to higher court.
So that could likely happen as well. Where exactly is the Zee-Sony merger now that the NCLT has dismissed all objections? Let's find out. Karan Taurani is here to break this down for us, Senior Vice President, a research analyst at Elara Securities. Karan, great to have you this evening with us. Now, like my colleague pointed out in that report, objections from creditors like Axis Finance, JC Flower Asset Reconstruction, and IDBI Bank and IMAX and IDBI Trusteeship, all of them that had raised concerns about this entire merger. Now, those have been summarily dismissed by the NCLT. How do you view it?
I think this is a big positive. So there are two things which has happened. One is the NCLT merger approval itself has come as per the timelines. So if you see, the last hearing was on the 10th of July, and within 4 weeks the approval has come. So there's no delay on that. Secondly, it's a very strong approval because, it kind of dismisses everything, the claims that the creditors were making. It also has got no subject, in terms of, any condition to it. So there are no conditions attached to it. Again, I think we continue to believe that the SEBI SAT issue, which is ongoing right now with the Goenka family, it's a separate matter altogether. That is primarily to do with, Mr. Puneet Goenka being on the board of the company or being as a KMP of the company or not. And this is a separate issue altogether. And it's clearly mentioned that, Mr. Goenka also has stepped on the sidelines. He's moved out of the board. He's moved away from the day-to-day operations. And whatever outcome of the SEBI SAT would come in, it would not have any kind of an impact in terms of the NCLT order or for the merger to go through.
Merger is going to go through, and we would see the final creation of a $10 billion media giant. You don't see any possibilities that those people and the companies that were raising objections to this deal would take this to a higher court and challenge this NCLT order?
There is a likelihood. I think those creditors could move to NCLAT, for some sort of a relief, and there could be, some cases over there. But the point is, generally, we've seen this in the past as well. NCLT, approves certain merger cases, and there are certain parties, which move to NCLAT. And eventually what they get, is no relief, that the order is not kind of rolled back or anything of that sort. It's more of an outcome wherein things are again rolled back in favor of NCLT. So I think, again, there's a very low likelihood of any kind of an impact of that, for the merger as of now.
Back in December 2021, Karan, that this merger, this agreement to combine their businesses was announced. And we are looking at the passage of time as far as this entire case is concerned. What do you think are the most salient points that one needs to understand in a merger case of this kind? Or do you think it is too nuanced and too particular to this particular matter?
I think, it's been a roller coaster ride for 2 years. I think at every hurdle, the merged co had to really, get things on board, and every step actually has been slow. So it all started off with, seeking the shareholder approval, wherein Invesco was involved. Then it came to CCI, wherein, certain channels were asked to shut down, the entire delay around that. Then this entire delay around, SEBI versus Mr. Goenka, and now finally with the NCLT thing. So I think it's been quite prolonged. It's been much delayed. But I think to investors, despite, I think we'll see a big up move in terms of valuations. How should one look at this company from current valuations is that there are two, three things which are structurally going to work in favor for them. One is the sheer size of the entity, right? I mean, they'll have a very strong ad market share of 25 to 27%. I think that's going to be like a very commanding position. They'll have synergies on board. The company will be, managed by a large MNC company, so you'll see valuation multiples going up basis that as well. And I think last but not the least, I think the digital business, which is a very big silver lining, that could also scale up and offer some sort of a potential in terms of valuation. So I think there are triggers for stock to move up from here on as well.
Enough. Today, of course, we've seen an upside to that stock. We'll keep tracking it, and thanks very much for joining us with your perspective, Karan. Always a pleasure having you on the show.